Tori here, and I just need to start by saying I have missed you guys so much. I know it's been a really long time since I've been posting videos, but I've gotten a few more up on my channel this past week or so, and I just wanted to say I'm back, and I'm hoping to get onto more of a regular posting schedule so that you guys can get some videos. It has been almost 7 months since I have posted regularly. And as I get more into this video, you're gonna realize why it's been so long since I've been posting videos. But I just wanted to say thank you everybody who sent me Instagram messages and Facebook messages and YouTube messages and emails just asking how I'm doing, if I'm okay, where I've gone, if anything happened, and I really appreciate that. I think that's really sweet. In 2018, I visited 9 different countries and did a lot of flying and a lot of traveling for work, for personal, for lots of different reasons, which I'll get into in a minute. But it's just meant that making videos has been really difficult because I've just been so busy. So I was trying to figure out how to get back into the swing of things and how to scrapbook all of these trips, because I really definitely want to document them. But I'm so far behind in project life for 2019. Like, I think I'm back in February, even though it's like now November, and I don't think that project life is going to happen this year. So I needed to come up with a solution, and I realized that what I really wanted to document from this year was the trips that I had been on, and the traveling and the trips and things like that. And I was just trying to figure a way to kind of document them all. I'm just going to move some things across out of the way for a second. And I've been trying to figure out how to document them all, and I decided the best and the easiest way to do that would be to document them all in one place in a simple method. And then if I want to go back and document them again later, I can always do that, but at least I would have them documented. And I'm gonna get started on my Crafty Girl on the Go series here, where I share how I scrapbook, how I document crafty girl on the go kind of things, or traveling and being crafty. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I am moving to Africa next year, which means that there will be lots more travel, crafty girl on the go kinds of things coming up in the future. But I'll do another video in the future telling you all about Africa. But today, I wanted to get started on this series. So what I'm thinking for 2019 is to document all of the 9 different countries and all the different places that I visited in one place. And I decided to try to use one of these traveler's journals. And I've never used one before for scrapbooking, but there's always a first. So I got this adorable black and white heart traveler journal, and it's got black and white hearts on the inside, little ones, and this really pretty mint color with a pocket here and one in the back, and it comes empty, and I got it from Freckled Fawn. I'll leave a link below for that. And then what I grabbed also on Freckled Fawn's website were the Scrapbook Traveler Notebooks inserts. And what they are is they are like plastic page protectors, and they come in sets of 10, I think. Yeah, so the scrapbook insert is a booklet with 10 pages, so technically if you're counting like front and back, you're getting 20 pages in each insert. And what I did was I got 5 packages of these because I traveled a lot and I knew I would want to document all of the trips. And I just took the inserts and I'm sticking them into the traveler's notebook. So now if you've never seen a traveler's notebook before, I'm just going to show this to you guys. What it does is it comes like this. It's kind of like just the outside case of a notebook, if that makes sense. And it comes with these elastics on the inside, and this one from Freckled Fawn comes with 4 of these elastics. And you can insert notebooks in there. You can insert lots of fun things. I'll show you this one. I have another one from Freckled Fawn that I actually just have notebooks in, and I do like handwriting and notes and stuff from like conferences and things like that. So you can get these notebooks and insert them. They even have these little pockets like this. So this is also from Freckled Fawn. Anyways, I'm gonna use one of those to document all of my 2019 travel. So what I did was I got 5 of these scrapbook page protector type things, and I'm gonna stick them all in here, and I'm gonna document all of the different places I visited inside this one traveler's notebook for 2019. So, and I thought it would be really fun to do like a Crafty Girl on the Go series, where I scrapbook all of my travels and tourist things, work things, personal things, whatever it is. If I'm traveling somewhere for the weekend or a week or a couple weeks or a month or whatever, I thought I would create this new series. Now, if you are a traveler and you also want to scrapbook your travels, I would love it if you'd share it with me and use the hashtag Crafty Girl on the Go, because I think it would be really fun to see it and to see what you guys are up to. Anyways, I would love to see it. So there's only space for 4 of these page protector things in here, but I've counted out the number of days that I need on my little cheat sheet here, and I know that I'm gonna need more than 80 page protectors. Like this, 4 of these equals 80. I'm gonna need about 100, so I need another 20, which would be this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to just slip this one in here. And what you can do with these traveler notebooks is you can sometimes double up on some of the elastics. So I'm actually gonna just slip this one underneath here. It's gonna be a little tight, I think, in this traveler's journal to have all of these trips together, but I really want to get all of the trips that I did in 2019 into one traveler's notebook, just because I think it'll be so much cooler to be able to flip through and be like, oh, look at all these incredible places I visited in 2019. So anyways, you can see there on that last one, I don't know if you can see it, but on that last string, I kind of have 2 of those inserts. Not sure if this is showing up on the camera. I kind of have 2 of those inserts. Like I have one there, and then I have another one sticking behind it. So you don't have to use these page protectors. You definitely could just use journals like what I showed you in my other traveler notebook, but I kind of wanted all of my trip photos to be in page protectors. I just thought it would look cleaner and neater and tidier. So what I'm going to do in today's video is I just wanted to introduce you to this new Crafty Girl on the Go, but I also wanted to do some crafting because I figured you guys would want to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make title pages. So what I've decided is that each of my trips is going to be in this same album, and they're all different trips. Like some of them were to warm places, some of them were cool places, some were hot places, and some were in the fall. So it's kind of like a whole year in one album of trips, and they're all gonna have different seasons, so all the photos are gonna look really different, but I wanted a way to make them cohesive. So the way that I've decided to make them cohesive is by having each trip start with a title page. And I cut out these white pieces of cardstock, and each trip is gonna have like a white piece of cardstock with the dates, the title of where I went, and maybe some kind of embellishment or something. So that way as you're flipping through the album, it's gonna look cohesive because some of the same things are gonna be used over and over. I have my Studio Calico Jumbo roller date stamp, and I'm gonna stamp the dates that I visited each of the places with that. I have these whimsical paper clips from Pink Paisley. This is the Paige Evans collection, Whimsical, and I just love the colors, and I think I might try to incorporate either the paper clips or the tassels in some way. I visited 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I visited 9. I already told you that. 9 different countries, and so this isn't technically enough tassels, but maybe I can mix in some other types of tassels or other kind of paper clips, and each new country can start with a cute little paper clip. So I've got those. From the Whimsical collection, I also picked up these 2 things. So I've got the 50-piece embellishment kit, which just has florals, and they're so pretty. Paige does such a good job with her designing. Like honestly, everything by her I just love. And I thought on the title pages it would be really fun to have like something kind of cohesive throughout the album. So using those paper clips and using these florals and also this paper pad, which I'll show you in a second, I thought would be kind of a fun way to make all of the pages look cohesive, even though they're all going to be a little different. And then I also grabbed the 6x6 specialty paper pad from the Whimsical collection. And again, Paige designed this for Pink Paisley, and it's just so bright and colorful. And then there were two other things that I grabbed which I thought would also help with the cohesiveness. I grabbed these doilies. They're square doilies and they're just stunning to me. And they are from, where are they from? Oh, Freckled Fawn. I'll leave a link for those below. And then I also grabbed these wooden hearts, which I believe I also got from Freckled Fawn. Now I don't have enough of these for all of the different places that I visited, but I have other wood veneer items. And I think what I can do is just mix the wood veneer throughout the album. And these are also Freckled Fawn. These are from a long time ago from Studio Calico. These little hearts are Felicity, or these little stars are Felicity Jane. So I just thought what I could do is throughout the album, I could mix in elements of wood veneer to also tie it all together. Anyways, that's the plan. I'm gonna work on these title pages now. So I figured I'd just start with the very first trip I did and go along that way. So the first trip I did this year was to Orlando, Florida in the United States. And it was from January 14th to January 20th. And I was at a conference there, like a children's pastor conference, where my mom and I, because we worked together, did an exhibit. So I think I've shared this before, but I can't even remember. And sometimes people ask me, but I currently work at a company called Plan to Protect. We do abuse prevention, so we help write policies, do training, help with consulting and screening services and things like that for organizations who work with the vulnerable sector. So some of our clients are churches, not all of them, but some of them are. So doing a conference in Florida for children's pastors seemed like a good idea. So we were exhibiting there and telling the churches about like how to get policies and do training and create safe environments. So anyways, that's what we were doing in Orlando, Florida. And for this page, I decided to just start by stamping the date in the middle of the page. And I stamped the day we started our trip, the day we ended, and then I wanted to add some of this really pretty paper from the paper pad that has these, are they octagons? I think so. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if there's 6 sides, is it a pentagon? Honestly, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. So I wanted to add that paper, so I just kind of cut it out a little bit, and I'm going to put it on the top there, and then I just put a little bit of the doily underneath so it's just kind of peeking out, because like I mentioned earlier, I wanted a little bit of consistency through all the title pages, so there's going to be a doily on every page. So just having it tuck out of the paper worked really well. So to create some balance, I put a little bit of that pattern paper at the top, and then I'm also going to add some in the bottom corner, and it kind of creates balance because it's like balance from the top to the bottom, it's balance from left to right, and I don't know, I thought it would look cute. And then I just wanted to also mention that these gold foam thickers actually have mint on the side of them. I don't know, they're really pretty, and I believe that they are from American Crafts. So what I did is I put Orlando at the top, Florida on the bottom, added the wood veneer, and then I've also added some of these super cute die cut flowers just to kind of tie those in too. So I've lined up some on the bottom right hand corner, and I'm also going to add one in the top left hand corner. I love floral die cuts. I don't know what it is, they just make me so happy. So you'll also notice in this album that I kind of mix metals, as in the floral die cuts have like more of a goldy copper, like a copper color, but then the letter stickers that I've used there are gold, but I don't really care about things like that. I just kind of do my thing. So once I've stuck down all the flowers, I just trimmed off the edges. So I love these title pages are going to kind of create a, like, I kind of feel like they're like chapter headings, and then in between them I'll have the pictures and the details and the journaling and stuff from that Orlando trip or from that other trip, and it just kind of works out really well. After I was done adding the flowers and trimming off that excess, I just felt like it needed a little something more, so adding some enamel dots and some sequins fit really well. And then I was moving on to the next one, which was February 9th to the 23rd. And on February 9th to the 23rd, I went on a cruise with my mom. And we actually went on Jen and Tracy's Crafty Cruise. And if you look on my channel, I have some cruise vlogs, so Crafty Cruise vlogs, where you can see what we did, where we went, how we crafted along the way, or how I crafted. My mom doesn't craft. And it was so much fun. Like, I had such a good time. I wish I could go on another cruise with Tracy and Jen. Like, it was just so good. Anyways, so that was in February, and our port was in Orlando, so we flew down to Orlando again. And then the places we visited on our cruise were St. Martin, Phillipsburg, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Labadee, Haiti. And then after we finished our cruise, we got back to Orlando, and we actually flew right from Orlando to Virginia for a work trip. So it ended up that we ended our cruise with work, but that's okay. We had a conference and training that we were doing in Virginia, again for work. So I'm going to just put these all into one trip, I'm kind of calling them, instead of, like, I could have done one for Orlando, one for St. Martin, one for San Juan, one for Labadee, and one for Virginia, but it was all kind of together, so it made more sense to put it all together, if that makes any sense. I don't know. So yeah, I put those all there. I added some of that rainbow paper. I ended up putting it down crooked at first, so having to pull it back up and do it again, and I felt like it needed a little bit at the top too, so I added that little scallop piece that I had punched out. And then I'm gonna just add one of these giant floral die cuts in the middle and stick that down, and I just love how bright and colorful it is. I thought about tucking in some extra leaves, but ended deciding against it because I just love that one piece, and I stuck that down. And then I used the most obnoxious letter stickers I've ever received. I'm sorry if you love these, but in just a moment you'll see them. These are letter stickers from a collection by Chamel, and I don't know if they were always obnoxious, or maybe I've had them in my stash too long, but they're not sticky at all. So I ended up spelling out Orlando, St. Martin, San Juan, Labadee, and Virginia, sticking them all down, painstakingly making sure they were all straight and in order and everything, and then going on to add the next detail, like a sequin or something, and them all falling off. And so then I had to, like, sort out all the letters because they got all jumbled up, and I had to painstakingly glue each letter down one by one. I'm pretty sure I will not do that again. Those letter stickers drive me crazy. I did want to use them on one other title page in this album just so that it's consistent, but like, those letter stickers. And then the other thing that was totally frustrating about this set of letter stickers is there's one sheet, and I just held it up there, where it's not cut properly. So you can't even use the whole sheet because it's cut wrong. I was so annoyed. Anyways, so I'm gonna stick down all those letters. I skip over the whole part of sticking them all down and painstakingly organizing them after they've all fallen off and gluing them down for you. Like, I kind of just jump ahead a little bit because I figure you guys don't really want to see that. But while I'm doing that, I did want to mention I did add down some sequins and enamel dots, and these clear sequins, which I love, are Pretty Pink Posh, and the enamel dots are from Freckled Fawn. And if I can remember, I'll link to some things below. So there you go. There's my February trip. And now we can move on to the next one. So my next trip was in May. So it was May 6th to the May 25th. And it was another work trip. I do get to travel a lot for work, which is really amazing. And we flew to British Columbia, and then we drove to Alberta. Oh, I realized I forgot to add a doily to this page, so I just cut up some little pieces and added them back in because I wanted all the pages to have a doily. So you'll notice in this video I kind of jump around a little bit. I'm sorry about that. So anyways, back to BC and Alberta. So we flew to BC, we did a conference where we exhibited, then we did a training and meet up with some of our clients. And then we drove to Alberta where we did another conference and training and exhibit for a bunch of other leaders, which was really exciting. And so we also got to have some like fun touristy time in there because my birthday is actually May 9th. So it was in the middle of this trip. So later when I document it, you'll see what we did in BC and Alberta, but it was a really fun trip. So I really liked this, I don't know if you call it yellow paper and this green floral paper, and I wanted to use them together because I thought they were just so pretty. So what I did was I kind of like just laid them down where I wanted them, and then I also tucked in a doily so you'd get a little peek through of the doily, and then I kind of, when I decided where I wanted them on the page, I stapled them down, and then I trimmed off the excess and adhered it down better. And I just did that little, I don't know what you would call this, like layered look on the bottom and on the top of this page. And then I felt like it needed some more florals because I love them. And I tucked one at the top and then a couple on the bottom, covering up some of the lines, but also kind of creating a little bit of cohesiveness between the pages and even on this page as well. And then I finished it off with some of those pretty pink posh sequins. And the wood veneer, if I didn't mention, is freckled fawn in the middle there. So I was almost done, but then I realized that I had forgotten to add the locations. So for this one, instead of spelling out British Columbia, which is a really long word, I just added BC and AB for Alberta, which are the Canadian like codes for the provinces, you know, like in the States you have state codes or whatever. I don't know, I thought it was still cute, and I knew that I would know what it means, which is most important, I guess, in my albums. And I can always write British Columbia and Alberta on the other pages that come after those. So my next trip was in June and the beginning of July, and this one was really fun. I got to go to England to see my older brother get married, and it was just, I can't even tell you how special it was to get to see him and his new wife Esther get married. Like, I just love my brother so much, and I'm just so excited for them both. So on this one, I'm going to put Leeds, England, because that's where the wedding was. And I kind of decided on this page that I wanted to use one of those square doilies like in entirety. Now, it didn't really fit, so I ended up cutting off a little bit on either side, but I just love the way that it looked, and I grabbed this like burgundy, is that the color of that paper, and put it underneath, and it kind of peeked through, which was really fun. So I put that in the middle of the page, and then I added this giant wood veneer from Freckled Fawn into the middle. Now, I've had that wood veneer for like, I don't know, 8 months, and I just haven't known what to do with it, and I finally found a use for it on this title page, and I just love the way that it looks like layered on top of the paper, on top of the doily, and there, and then in the middle of it, I just stuck one of those die cut florals, just because I've had one of those on every page, so I wanted to keep up the consistency. I played around a lot trying to find the perfect one. I didn't want one too big or too small. I wanted it to be perfect. As always, I don't know, it's never perfect, but I wanted it to feel perfect. And then I stuck that in the middle and then added some of those clear sequins. I don't know what it is, but I just love clear sequins. Like, I feel like they don't take away from the page or what you're doing. They just add like a little bit of sparkle. And I just feel like they just look cute on everything. So I kind of want to buy like 10 more bags of these, but I won't because I still have lots left. But I just adore sequins, and clear ones are like even better. So after I was done, I decided instead of trimming the doily because it's really thin and I thought it might rip, I would just kind of fold it over onto the back and just add a little bit of washi tape to hold it down. And I now just need to add my title. So I use some of these letter stickers. I believe they're from Illustrated Faith, and they're kind of fun because they're a little transparent, like they're clear letter stickers. And I just stuck those down on top of the page. So moving on to the next trip, which was in September. And in September, I was excited to get to go to Kenya. And along the way, I stopped in Amsterdam for about 12 hours. And I also stopped in France on the way back. So on this trip, I got to visit 3 countries, which was really fun. And I was in Kenya for 2 weeks, visiting Rift Valley Academy, which is the missionary boarding school where I will be moving next year, which is super exciting. But I'll let you know more about my move in another video because it doesn't really make sense to do it in this video. But anyways, short of it is I'm moving to Kenya permanently next year. So anyways, back to the layout. I really like this paper that had this really fun pattern on it. And what I decided to do was to cut out the octagons, not sure if they're called octagons, and kind of create a pattern with them. And I used those clear letter stickers again, and I'm going to spell out Amsterdam, Kenya, and France with those. And I started, but then I realized, where am I going to put the doily on this page? So I kind of pulled up those letters and glued down a little piece of the doily at the very top, kind of creating a shelf for those letter stickers, a shelf for the stamping of the date. And then what I'll do is I'll put the words underneath that. And my thought process was that I could kind of put the words in between the pattern that I was going to create with those fussy cut shapes that I had cut out of the pattern paper. And so I've stuck down the word Amsterdam, and then I'm going to glue some of these little tiny octagon pentagons, not sure what shape it is, down, and kind of create this pattern all around the words. And then when I get down about a third of the page, then I'll do Kenya, and then I'll go down another third of the page, and then I'll do France. So that was kind of my plan, and I kind of glued and stuck as I went. And I feel like this title page is a perfect example, or this section of my Crafty Girl on the Go traveler's notebook here is a perfect example of how I'm using this notebook to kind of quickly document all of the trips in one place so that I have them all, but I can pretty much guarantee I will make a mini album or a 6x8 album or a scrapbook on this trip to Kenya because it was really important and really meaningful. So I don't think I could scrapbook everything I would want to say about that trip in like 12 pages of this traveler's notebook. But who knows? I think what I'm going to have to do is like create this traveler's notebook and then go back and look at it and decide whether I feel like each of the trips is documented sufficiently or whether I feel like it needs more. So, I mean, the trips that I'm already thinking will need more would be my cruise, my brother's wedding, and this trip. I think the other ones I'll probably just have in here and be happy with. But I love the idea of having all of the trips that I went to in one place. I just feel like it kind of is neat and tidy. And since I'm moving to Kenya, the thought of having less stuff to store, it seems like a good idea. Anyways, so I finished gluing down all of those little fussy cut shapes. And then I added my wood veneer heart up near the top because I have a little bit of wood veneer on every page. And then I grabbed out those clear sequins again. I was so obsessed with them. I wanted them everywhere. So they're glued kind of sporadically on the page, kind of as if they kind of dropped from heaven and landed on the page. And I don't know, there's 3 different sizes of them, like a large, a medium, and a small. There might be 4 sizes, maybe a large, a medium, and a small, and then an extra small. I don't know. But I just kind of glued those all over the page. And I think they look super cute on there. They just add that little extra sparkle. So, oh, and then I had decided to do, I didn't say this before, but Amsterdam, Kenya, and France are in different colors, just because I wanted them to pop out. But I picked colors that were in those shapes that I had fussy cut out, so it would still look like it went with it. And I think this one might be one of my favorite pages. I don't know, I actually like all of the title pages. I think they all worked out really well, but I love the way this one worked out. So I trimmed off the excess on the sides, and that one is good to go, and I can move on to the next one. And there's only 3 more left, but I feel like I kind of got into a groove when I was creating these, and I was like they were fairly easy and quick to create. I think all of them took me maybe an hour and a half. That's why this video is so long, because I tried to cut it down as much as I could, but then I felt like I didn't want to cut it down too much. But I don't know. Hopefully it's okay with you guys that this video is slightly longer than my usual video, but I figured it's been a long time since I've made a video, so hopefully you guys will just, I don't know, miss me and want it to be a longer video. I don't know. if you're still here, thanks. Leave a comment below and let me know that you made it to the end of the video. So this trip was October 2nd to the 6th, and I went to Nashville, and it was a work trip because there was a huge conference that I was exhibiting at, and I also got to speak at, or I didn't get to speak at, I just exhibited at this one. And then at the end of my trip, I got to visit Tracy Claiborne of the Scrap Gals, because she lives in Nashville, and spend some time with her and her family, which was really sweet to see them again after the cruise, because I had missed them. So on this trip, I created a little scallop piece to go at the top with 3 different pattern papers, and I added my stamping at the very bottom of the page. And now I'm just going to kind of add my doily and my floral piece. So I had this leftover piece of a doily that I had cut off from another page, and I just adhered that. If you can hear that, that's the dog. I adhered that in the middle, and then I'm going to add my floral piece on top of that. And I just grabbed one of the floral pieces, and then I'll just glue it down on top of the doily, so the doily just kind of peeks out. And I feel like the colors that I picked for the scallop pieces at the top, you can kind of find them in the floral pieces, which makes sense because they're from the same collection. And then I like how they kind of balance each other out and bring the color down the page to where the stamping is. And then I grabbed those black letter stickers from Felicity Jane to spell out Nashville, and I just put that at the top of the page there under the scallops. And now I'm going to finish the page off with my wood veneers and my sequins, and this time I used these little heartwood veneers, and these little heartwood veneers, I'm not sure if I said it before, they come from Studio Calico, but a really long time ago, so I don't think they'd be available anymore, because I mean, I haven't bought Studio Calico in probably 2 years, I think, unless somebody like gave it to me, but yeah, I don't think they're available anymore. Sorry about that. So I just glue them down in 3 different places on the layout. What I wanted to do was have something by the stamping of the date, something by the floral die cut, and then something up by the title, just to kind of draw your eye along the page. And just as a rule of thumb, because I know sometimes people say that they struggle with knowing where to put embellishments, I typically just go with my gut. I just put it wherever it makes me happy, but I also try to remember to do odd numbers. For some reason, odd numbers of embellishments look better, personally, I think. So you'll see on this page there was 5 wood veneers, for example. Okay, I guess the video is ahead of me now, so I'll move on. So then after my trip to Nashville, about a week later, which was crazy, October 12th to 14th, I was in Montreal, and I was doing a really huge training for the Archdiocese of Montreal on child safety, which was a really cool experience and really great to see them all gather together to talk about how we can create safe environments within churches. So on this page, I just stamped down the date again, and then I'm going to add my paper and my floral pieces, and I decided to kind of add those at the bottom of the page pointing up to the date. You know, I didn't really follow any specific like guidelines or sketches for these pages. I just kind of created them and went with whatever I felt worked on the page, and I like the way that they turned out. But I think if you wanted to, you could follow sketches, or you could even follow the designs that I created. I think mostly what I did on the page was I started by stamping the date and then kind of figuring out where to put my die cut floral and paper and doily around that. And so it kind of just flowed out from that one place to the next, if that makes any sense. So I stuck my floral die cut on top of the date stamp, and then I added my little Montreal letter stickers down there. I did have to glue them again, but I wanted consistency throughout the album on the types of letter stickers I use, so I just sucked it up and glued them down. Added my wood veneer heart on the doily, because there was a perfect space above the Montreal, and then I added a couple of clear sequins, and this one is pretty much good to go. I love this one too. I think it worked out well. Now on to the very last one. So on the last one, I wanted it to look a little different. So I was trying to figure out how I would make this page look a little different than the others, because I felt like each of the title pages has been completely different. So I wanted another one that was completely different. And I decided that I really wanted to use this gorgeous pink ombre paper on the page, and then I was trying to figure out how to use the doily too, and I decided that I would just use the top little piece of the doily, like the little scallop piece, right behind the pink pattern paper, ombre paper, and it just kind of creates this really pretty texture. It's super subtle because it's white on white, but I love white on white, and you can definitely see the texture. It looks really cute at the top of this pink paper. So I adhered that to the top, and then I adhered the pink ombre paper down, trimmed off the excess, and now I can go ahead and create the rest of my page. So I still haven't really decided where to do the stamping. This is the first page that I did the stamping not first. Like on all the other pages I started with the stamping, but I thought that I would do that the stamping later, as I really wanted to focus on the design of this page and then add the stamping. So I added Newfoundland because that was where I visited October 15th to the 21st, and it was a really long word, so it was not going to fit horizontally, so I had to put it vertically, and I think that that kind of created the design of the page because Newfoundland had to fit that way. And then I was like, well, where can I put the stamping in relationship to the letter stickers? So I put the stamping above that, and added a little tiny, teeny, tiny heart wood veneer in between October 15th and 21st. They were pretty close together, and I think that's just the nature of the stamping, because I think the stamp is about 3 inches wide, and so you think this is a 6-inch paper, maybe 2 1/4 or 2.5 inches wide. So they were pretty close together, and I wanted something to just separate it. And then above that, I added my floral die cut, and then I'm just going to finish this page off with some more sequins, and I felt like it needed some of those enamel dots that I had used earlier just to bring those back into the title pages since they were on the first one. And I just grabbed some of the big enamel dots and the little ones, and all of those enamel dots came from Freckle Pond, and I just think they're adorable. And then this page is pretty much good to go. And again, I just used odd numbers, so 5 on either side, and I feel like that page is super cute and works out really well. So I'm going to slow this down and show you each of the pages one by one so you can kind of get a look at how each of the title page looks right from my trip in Orlando in January to my trip in Newfoundland in October. And I love these title pages. After I'm done showing them to you guys, I'm going to pop them all into the traveler's notebook, separating them by the number of page protectors that need to be in for each trip. And then I'll be good to go to create the rest of the project, which I'll do in separate videos. But right now I'm just going to show you. One of the things I absolutely love about each of these title pages, and I'm so glad I did, is I kept them consistent. I feel like it worked so well to use the same 6x6 paper pad, the same die cut pack, the same doilies, the same wood veneers, same sequins throughout the whole entire title pages, because they really look like they go well together. So what I'll do is I'll take a picture of each of these and I'll try to post them on Instagram. So if you want to come over and join me in Instagram, you can follow me and check out the photos, as well as if you're ever wondering where I am, Instagram is the place to find me, because I post lots of Insta stories. Even when I don't have time to make videos over here, I'm always posting over there. So come join me on Instagram. Tori_Bissell, but I'll leave a link below for you too. I love the way that all of these coordinate, but they also look completely different, and I feel like they're gonna look super cute in my album. So what I did after this, and I'll just give you a little preview, is I put them all in the traveler's notebook journal pages, and basically I separated them by how many days there were in that trip. So for example, October 12th to 14th, I had a page for the 12th, 13th, and 14th, so 3 pages. And then I'll do a page a day, put maybe a photo or two and some journaling, and just keep it super simple so that all of the trips are in one place and they all work out really well. I think I might need to keep the pages a little flatter without as many thick embellishments like the wood veneers, or else they're all not going to fit in one place. But I think it works okay for the title pages at least, and then the rest of the pages can be more flat with just like paper and photos and flat embellishments, but that's okay. So I'm just going to show you kind of how they'll go in here, this idea, and then I'll put them in there when you're not with me, because that would take too long for you to watch me struggle to put them in there. So there you go. I'm just showing you a quick preview of what they look like in the album. And now I'm going to decide which paper clips I wanted to use. And I did include this in this video just because it was too short to do in a separate video, but basically I decided each page would get its own paper clip, and that way as you looked on the side of the album you would be able to see where each new trip began and each trip ended. And I only had 6 of those tassel ones, and obviously that's not enough, so I mixed in some of my other paper clips, like those wood veneer ones from Freckled Fawn and some other ones that I just had in my stash. When I was doing a tidy up of my stash, I realized that I had a lot of paper clips, so I feel like this is a really great way to use some of them and use them in a cute way. So originally I had just had 1 paper clip for each trip, but then I felt like maybe I wanted to do a paper clip for each location instead of each trip, so I'll put them in the album like per location. So if I visited 3 places, then there's 3 paper clips right now, and then when I do the pages I'll actually move it to where the day is, if that makes sense. But you'll see that more as I create more videos of this little traveler's notebook, which is actually my traveler's notebook because I'm documenting my travels. So there you can see all of the paper clips look super cute on the side, and this album is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this process video. I've really missed you. Leave a comment and subscribe below, and I'll see you soon. Bye!